Hello everyone, and welcome to part 1 of my Refraction Railway 3 low turn count video guide sort of thing. Basically, uh, this is essentially my most optimal run through the entire thing, getting as low turn count as I possibly can. Aiming for around sub 50 turns, if everything works out okay. Hopefully it does. We'll see. The Ahab fights are definitely the biggest roadblock of the run, but it should go pretty well, I think. I should be able to get at least sub 50. The reason why this is split up in part 1 and why it's not all together is because it just takes so damn long to be able to get low turn counts. Like, for not even for the first 3 encounters, it's just the first 2, because the first one is really easy, but the first 2 encounters took around 8 hours of resets, which is always a good time. Very fun. But the first stage is not that difficult. The main goal of it is to just be able to fuel enough ego resources to be able to use Sun Shower, Blind Obsession, and any 3 attack weight ego for the slitcurrent fight to be able to beat the mermaids in the first wave. Basically, it's pretty easy. I chose to use Sun Shower, Blind Obsession, and the overclocked Dawn's Telepole to be able to do it, which requires a total of 4 Wrath, 4 Sloth, 2 Gluttony, 8 Gloom, 5 Pride, and 6 Envy. If you do the math, that boils down to a minimum of 5 turns required to be able to fuel it all perfectly. But being able to optimize it that well is next to impossible. So the next best thing is an extra turn to make it a 6th turn, which is exactly what I did. And to be able to fuel that stuff the best, I chose to use Reindeer Ishmael, W Dawn, W Mersault, Spicebush Yisong, Magic Bullet Otis, and Daichi Rodion. Only 2 of those units are ones that I didn't use in the other fights, so they were exclusively picked to be able to fuel the egos in this fight specifically. Other than that, and just simply optimizing it and being able to beat them within a low, fairly standard quick amount, it's pretty good. Which brings us on to the next fight, which this is basically the first fight is entirely set up for. We have the slitcurrent fight. In this fight, I got a 2-turn slitcurrent, which is very, very impressive, if I do say so myself. Being able to beat this guy in 2 turns is not something that's very easy. And basically, to be able to do it, you need Rabbit Heathcliff, Spicebush Yisong, Reindeer Ishmael, W Dawn, W Ryoshu, and Sync Association Sinclair. The first turn you need to use Blind Obsession, Sun Shower, and Dawn's Telepole to finish off the wave instantly, and also be able to generate the charge for all of your charge units. You also need to make sure that every single one of them has their skill 3 ready, and that specifically for the ones that are using the ego, it's not in the bottom slot, which basically means that you have a 1 in 3 chance for all 3 of them to actually to get their skills in the right slot. And for the others, it's a little bit better. It's only 50%, but still, it's to get all of those to line up, it takes a while. And even then, even after that, you're still not done because RNG is still very, very important, specifically when it comes to Rabbit Heathcliff. because obviously, as all of you know, he needs to roll high speed when he wants to use his quick suppression, which means that the turn after, you can't really... You have to rely entirely on RNG, because you can't use Body Sack without having the first fight take longer. So it's pure RNG whether or not he can actually roll high enough speed, but I did manage to get one run where he did roll high enough speed. And after that, this is actually not as optimal as it could be, because I did not get perfect RNG, specifically when it comes to the slitcurrent himself. There are two different skill slot lineups that he can have. The first, and the one that I got, which is far worse, is where he only has one skill slot for the fluorescent part and 4 for the body part. The second and preferable alternative is where he has 2 skills on the fluorescent part and 3 on the body part. The only reason why this matters at all is so that Sinclair can target one of the fluorescent parts exclusively and apply an extra 2 fragile, but this is ultimately unnecessary and just a little bit of insurance at the end of the day, because I did not need it. Instead, just Heathcliff and every single person's skill 3 combined was enough to be able to take him out in a single turn, which is very, very impressive and nice, and God, it was not worth it. Specifically, it was not worth it because of the next fight, the Gossypium, which the same team, minus Esong and replaced with W. Mersault, does significantly worse against the Gossypium than they do against the Slitcurrent. Technically speaking, this one could be done in around 3 to 4 turns, but you do need absolutely perfect RNG, and I do mean perfect. You need every single character to have their skill 2s and their skill 3s to be able to use both skill 2s turn 1 and 2, and then go into skill 3 on turn 3. And if you're lucky, that would be able to kill him, but unfortunately, skill 1s exist, and they make this take literal hours to be able to get the perfect run, and eventually I just gave up because it was not happening. And I had to accept defeat and take a measly 5-turn Gossypium. It's not that big of a deal at the end of the day, like having a 2-turn Slitcurrent at the cost of a 5-turn Gossypium it's a trade I'm willing to take, but because of it, the Rupture team is still technically more consistent, because you can easily get a 3-turn Slitcurrent and a 3-turn Gossypium, which would make this the total turn of these 3 fights to be 12 instead of the 13 that I have. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much though, so it's fine. It's only 1 turn difference. It's not world record stuff, you know. I'm fine with it. Anyways, yeah, the Gossypium fight sucks for Charge Team. Don't try this at home, kids. It's not worth it. If you are going for low turn count, use a Rupture Team on these fights. It's not only does it give you a better turn count overall, it also is way, way, way more manageable for the resets, because you basically only care about Talisman Sinclair's skills, as opposed to needing everyone's skills to be perfect. So yeah, that's basically it for me for right now. Stay tuned for part 2 and 3. And yeah, like and subscribe and all that. I'll see you later. Goodbye.